Alpha 3 Japan radio. 100 watts, that's all. A very challenging afternoon on 40 meters, but with just 100 watts, and that is nothing but a half wave, 71 foot in length. Takeoff point is 15 foot above ground, and it rises in the slope to a level of about 50 feet above the ground. It's in my walnut tree, the black walnut tree, so if my signal sounds a bit nutty, it's because of the walnut tree. Any copy, Jim? WA3JR.
Roger, Roger. WA3JR. Coming from that nutty tree, your long wire is in a nutty tree. Is that a Roger?
Yes, it's in a black walnut tree, and that's why I sound nutty. That's why I sound nutty, Jim. You don't have to QSL that, but I know it to be true. Over.
Yeah, Roger. All right, JR, what's the name there?
My name is Joe, and I've made contact with you over the years on 3 occasions, once in 2018, once in 2020, and last year, December. However, that was with Alpha 3 Charlie Foxtrot X-ray. I had that call sign. Of this year, I gave it up for a vanity call, and that's what you hear now. Whiskey America 3, Juliet Romeo. I'm operating a Kenwood CS830S and a Shure microphone SM58. I'm just wondering, do I sound like I'm do I sound as if I'm talking through a tunnel? When I listen to my own self through the Milford, Pennsylvania SDR receiver, it's as if I'm talking through a vacuum cleaner hose. So tell me, what's your critique, Jim? Over.
Well, I use Milford quite extensively, and I think the thing is that you may be listening to it simultaneously as you speak. And the problem is that there is always a latency coming back from the internet SDRs. So, sometimes it's like 4 seconds. And if you're listening on a pair of earphones to that as you're trying to speak, it becomes very difficult. I've not found anybody that can concentrate good enough to continue to speak as they're getting a 4-second delay of their voice coming back into their earphones. It just is terribly confusing. But anyway, Joe, what is your location? Where are you, sir?
I'm in North Central Maryland, a very small community called Emmitsburg, Maryland. We're about 12 miles south of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, right on the state line. And, Jim, by the way, yes, I do have the Milford SDR receiver listening right now, so I haven't. Real-time listen to that with a latency, the delay of like 4 seconds or more. But I just click on the record button and listen afterwards. Anyway, I thought, with the band conditions such as they are today, very challenging here on 40 meters, this would be a test to see if my signal is intelligible. So there you have it. That's what I'm looking for. And if you would have any recommendations, I have an equalizer on this Shure SM58 microphone, and I don't know if increasing the mid-range would get some of the hollow signal, hollow sounding out or not. I just don't know. I leave it to the guru. That's you, Jim. Oh, by the way, I heard Charlie. He was a fabulous signal from New Hampshire, K1G3L. Nice signal. Anyway, back to KC9VKV, WA3JR.
Roger, Joe. Well, you just came up about 15 dB on my local. Let's see. I'm on my local. I have 3 local 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, and I have them arranged at 0 degrees, 90 degrees, and 134 degrees, and I use them as a scanner. So I just with a rotary switch run through them. I used to think I could use them as a rotor, but it's just too slow. So I've got 3, and they're spaced, like I say, at 0 degrees, 90 degrees, and 134 degrees. And you're coming in on the 134 degree 10-foot vertical magnetic loop. So beginning our setup procedure, if you'd be interested, the first thing would be to make sure that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass mode. 100 to 2900 bandpass on transmit. Roger?
Well, that I cannot, I don't know how to adjust that. I don't know how to limit it. I do tell you this much, that the Kenwood TSA-30S, as you probably well know, does have a processor in it, though I've turned it off because it's RF processing, it's all RF compression, and I'm just slightly afraid of RF compression because it just clips, and I don't know what happens to the, what other signals it might radiate. So my compression is at the audio level. I am utilizing some compression here at audio level, Jim. Over.
Roger, Roger. Okay. Well, make a note to double check to make sure what that transmitter is in your bandpass. We ideally recommend 100 to 2900. So just make a note of that to check, and if you can adjust it to 100 to 2900 in the transmit bandpass, go ahead and do that. So the beginning of our setup procedure is compressor on and add a 3. Just a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, just a third of the capabilities of that compressor. Something you'll never hear on the air, but our setup does start with the compressor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending. Roger?
Well, Roger, and I have done that in the past when I was utilizing the processor built into the Kenwood. I would only put it at 30% of a full scale. However, right now I have it turned completely off. No RF processing whatsoever, Jim. Over.
All right. Well, we may be having a little bit more difficulty in reaching our goal, which is a 3 dB dynamic range. But let's proceed on then. Move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word, audio, audio, say it, but don't stress it. Just say it as you would say any other word in a QSO. And be looking at your ALC meter as you say it, and with your mic gain, adjust that ALC meter to read mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger. Let's see here. Okay. Audio. Let's see. I have absolutely no ALC deflection from the transceiver itself because I have the processor turned on, no RF compression. However, with my compressor here in the equalizer, little peripheral device that I have here in line between the Shure microphone and the transceiver, I'm going to cut back the compression. I have it now. I'm cutting it back to 20 decibel. I had it at 35. So I've cut back the compression. Any improvement there, Jim? Over.
Well, you could tell me by your ALC. We need that ALC to be running mid-scale to 2/3. That's the critical adjustment there. You can't. The ideal sweet spot is midway between mid-scale and 2/3, but you can't just camp there. So we just say, if you can get that ALC reading towards, just over mid-scale, that would be fine. And the word is audio, and you adjust with your mic gain. Roger?
Roger. Well, let me turn my processor on, and I'll turn it up as I've just done now. It's about 1/3 of full level there on the transceiver. I still do not see any ALC deflection. However, I'm sure that it is. How copy?
Roger, that might be a little bit too much. Now, is your mic gain marked off? Can you tell me don't do anything right yet, but tell me what your mic gain is setting at right now.
I have it at about 50% of full scale.
Your mic gain, is that a Roger?
Roger.
All right, well, pull it down to, if it was like at 50, then pull it down to about a 40, and let me hear you.
Okay, audio at 50, audio at 50, audio at 40, audio at 40.
You kind of faded out just a little bit. I'm not sure whether it was Mother Nature or you. Come back and talk to me just for a minute.
Roger, Roger. Well, I'm still at audio 40, and if the QSB Baker gods will cooperate with us. Audio 40. This is audio 50, audio 50, and back to audio 40, audio 40. Roger.
Roger, take it up to 50 because you moved up about 20 decibels in signal. So, you definitely was low at 40. So come up to 50 and let me hear you.
Okay, this is audio 50, audio 50, audio 50. From best that I could tell, this was probably what I thought perhaps was best. But what I need your expertise, Jim, I'm curious about the equalizer itself, the various components. I have a 10 frequency equalizer here, and how do I get out of sounding like as if I'm talking through a tunnel? Do I increase the mid-range or do I decrease the mid-range?
All right. Well, let me do it this way. I'll tell you this way. Modern-day equalizers are designed for to reach a balance between the top to the mid-range and the bottom to the mid-range. So we want to keep that mid-range flat. We want to keep everything from 500 cycles to 1.5K just flat. Roger, Roger.
Roger, and that's how I have it now. From 500, 800, and 1.3K, I have that actually, I have it a little less than flat. I have it as a -2 decibel. However, beginning at 2K, I increase that up to 8 decibel. I want the higher one for whatever intelligibility might be up at the high end. Roger?
Yes, sir. Okay, but we want to keep that mid-range flat. So take those controls from 500 cycles to 1.5K and put them flat. Very important to keep that flat. And then I'm assuming you have an octave equalizer, so it would be 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K. Is that a Roger?
I go up to as high as 4.5K, from 90 to 4.5K.
All right. Do you have anything around 2.7K?
I have a 220 and a 350. And the 220 I have set at plus 2 decibel, and the 350 rather, I have that as well at a positive 2 decibel.
All right. I think you could add 2 more at that 3.5 range, plus 2 additional from where you are.
Roger. I've increased the 350 cycle to a 4 decibel, and by the way, I have flattened the 500, 800, and 1.3K absolutely flat.
Roger. Now, how close are you working your microphone? What I'm saying is that you really, if you get a chance, you should get a phone windscreen for your microphone, because I am hearing some transients there. If you happen to have one, you could slip it on, or do you need to get one?
Oh, I need to get one. Oh, by the way, Jim, while I have you in line, there is something in this equalizer that's called there's a noise gate, and I actually have that running right now. I could turn that off. Right now, the noise gate is on. The whole idea was to cut back on the ambient noise in the room here, but I'm going to purposely, right now, it's turned off. And in between words, you might hear ambient noise. Did you notice on the increase?
I don't have that good a signal on you. You're giving me about 8 dB above my noise level, and to be able to hear that subtlety, I would need a cleaner signal to hear that. But if you've been running with it on, I would say go ahead and keep it on. So I'm thinking now that maybe you want to back up maybe 2 inches further off mic, just a little bit, and let me hear you at 2 inches further back on that microphone, Roger.
Roger. Jim, I've been eating the microphone. I was only 4 inches away from it, but now I'm 6 inches away from it. WA3JR, 6 inches away, Roger.
Roger, I think that's a lot cleaner now, and you need to go back to your mic gain and bring it up a skosh because you're further back off mic than where you were. So whatever reference on your ALC you were using last, bring your mic gain up now at that further position from microphone to where it was at the same reading as it was on your ALC earlier.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Okay, I'm at the 50% level, and I'm going to increase it. As a matter of fact, that might be a bit much, but I'm at about 60% rather than 50. Any difference there, Jim?
Oh, gosh, you just get louder and louder. and I think that's probably pretty good. Now, why don't you tell me about 10 seconds and just let me listen to you as you tell me about your antenna system.
Roger, Jim, thank you very much. You're so kind. You've helped how many people? I've listened to you often enough, and I know this is not about my antenna system, but God bless you. And thank you for the prayer that you began this session with. All I can say is, I'm with you, brother. God bless you. My antenna system, it's not much. It's just an end-fed halfway. And again, I say it's being held up by a black walnut tree. And it imparts a certain character to my QSOs, all of them, and I sound a bit nutty because I'm connected to a walnut tree, a nut tree. How's that, Jim?
Yes, sir. Sounding good. Sounding good. Now, we are recording this, and I do have a spectrum analyzer on set. So, and let me just say a word about that spectrum analyzer. It's got 3 white stripes on it to denote frequencies. The furthest mark to the left denotes 100 cycles. The next mark as you move out to the right is 1 KC, then there's a blank space, and then there's another white mark, and that's 4 KC. So as you, if you check out your video, as you look at the spectrum analyzer, you can see exactly where your audio is falling. Roger?
Oh, Jim, there's a breaker, and you said I'm way over modulating. Breaker, please, your expertise, please, give your report, please. There's someone who said I was over modulating. But now it's quiet. Okay, back to you, Jim.
I see you fine. The thing is, though, and we've established a new proximity to microphone. So you want to stay in that new proximity. If you get closer, obviously you're going to get hotter into your ALC. So, but if you just stay at that new spot, your audio is a lot cleaner in that position. Roger?
Roger. I'm 6 inches away. This is a boom mic. And I do welcome the gentleman who said I was over-modulating. Please, this is important to me, and I do not want to over-modulate. Please, confirm that I'm over-modulating, please. Over.
Look good to me. But
Okay, good to you. Okay, God bless you, sir. Jim, I might have been over-modulating because I crept up back to the microphone. So the point well taken, Jim. Thank you. God bless you. Don't eat the microphone, Joe. Stay back 6 inches, and I think we're good to go. Roger?
Exactly right there. That is perfect right there. And I'll tell you what to do. Are you getting a good indication on your ALC meter now?
Well, once again, Jim, I do not have any ALC deflection on my transceiver because I have the processor turned off. So I can't see that. What is that, screen voltage?
No, it's the ALC is reading the output from the limiter. Your radio has a limiter. It's the last thing of the audio chain, more or less, and so that meter is reading the output of your limiter. Roger?
All righty. Well, yeah. Okay, fine. Maybe this is a bad band to operate that. Full disclosure, this is a Kenwood TSA-30S, and there is an issue with some of these vintage rigs, such as mine is exhibiting right now, that the ALC deflection, the ALC meter, does not necessarily work on 40 meters. It's because the 40-meter section of the band switch the gang switch is way in the back, and I really need to clean those contacts. I don't think I have a good contact in the back, so there's absolutely no ALC deflection. However, when I go to the higher bands, I do see a little bit, just a little bit of deflection. So there you have it, Jim. I need to work on my rig. Why haven't I worked on my rig? At age 74, whenever I pick up a soldering iron, I'm immediately transported to San Francisco to a six Richter scale earthquake. I got the hand tremors. I can't hold a soldering gun, and I just dare not do any troubleshooting on my rigs anymore. Such is it. Well, I've become an appliance operator. I used to be a home brewer. WA3JR.
Roger, Joe. I'll tell you what, on your EQ, at 200 cycles, crank in -2 from where you are. At 200 cycles, -2 clicks from where you are.
I had been at a +2. Right now I've taken it to a -2. How's that?
I think that's excellent. That's excellent. I'm listening to you on my my local antenna, which is good down to 100 cycles. Most of these SDRs roll out at about 250 or 300 cycles, but my local radio is down to 100 cycles, and I think you sound excellent there. Anyway, if you want to hear your audio again, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of a series of 2200 Qso-Vlog air check recordings, and I'll have it posted by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, and I smile when I say Roger, because back on the December the 3rd of 2021, you and I were in QSO. You were helping me out, and in the course of that, and I got to hear the YouTube later. My antenna came down in a big blast of wind. I don't know if you remember that, but my signal dropped off considerably, and we were able to close out the QSO with my antenna laying on the ground. That was certainly near. That was not near vertical incident. That really was vertical incident propagation. But anyway, yes, I am, and I can't wait to log into your YouTube capture of this QSO. Jim, God bless you. Thank you. I know there's others waiting on the sidelines for your expertise. So with that, God continue to bless you. Your noble soul, so generous with your time and your expertise. KC9VKV, who has helped WA3JR. God bless you, 73, Jim.
Roger, Joe, 73 up that way, sir, and have yourself a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.